Hey you guys, today we are kicking off our first Sunday Devotional Series online. And we are going to be talking about confidence. This will probably be like a 4 to 5 week series or longer if you guys have questions or more things you want to talk about. Whatever it ends up being, it will be good. So we're going to start off today just by talking about what confidence even is. I think it's super important. We all have this idea in our mind where we want to be confident, we want to love who we are and be comfortable in our own skin. And we have all of these ideas, but what does it really mean to be confident? And what does that look like in action? And why should we be? Why is this something that we want? And more importantly, why does God want us to live confident lives? So, we're going to get started by talking about what it even means. So, I went to the dictionary to look up the word confidence. And the first definition that comes up is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something else. So you can rely on this thing, whatever it is. If it's a person or a thing, like this chair that I'm sitting in, I'm confident that it will hold me, so I have confidence in this chair. But more importantly, it's important to rely on and trust somebody, and that somebody is God in our lives. And we need to have that belief that we can rely on Him. But I think the other definition of confidence is probably the more well-known. It's what we mean when we say confidence, and I think it's actually the definition of self-confidence. And that is a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's own appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. So that is when you love yourself, when you are grateful for who you are, when you are sure of yourself. And I think that's the idea we have. We have this idea of wanting to be confident and certain in who we are. We want to be confident in our abilities. We want to be certain of what we can do. Like in basketball, like when you're going to play a really easy team, you're confident in your own abilities to win. So then you walk out and you play that game a little differently than you would if you were going up against one of the top teams in the state, because you know they might be better. So you're a little less sure of your own abilities. So then you might play that game a little bit more timid. And that's not the kind of lives we're trying to live. We are trying to be confident and bold and courageous, because that is what God is calling us to do. So both of these things, just being confident in general and being self-confident, those two definitions we talked about, those are both good and necessary to live successful lives. But if we're going to be confident in who we are, if we're going to have this self-confidence, we need to first look to our Creator. We need to look to God and find out why we can be confident in Him. I was thinking about this as I was writing up the message. Like, if you go shopping and you know the person who made the product, or like if you're shopping online and you know like the retailer, you are a little bit more certain of buying that product because you know that person. You know the creator of it. You know they do good work. You know that they'll actually mail you the thing you're trying to get. Whereas if you go on a more sketchy website and you don't really know what it is or who made it, where it's coming from. I don't like buying stuff from like Japan or China when I have no idea if it's even going to come. My roommate one time actually bought swimsuits from China, and it took like a month and a half to get here. But they got here, so it was good. But it is kind of a weird thing, like when you buy stuff, you don't know if it's going to make it or not. So you are more confident in the product that you're getting or using if you know its maker. You're going to be more confident in yourself if you know your maker. And there's a great passage in the Bible, it's one of my favorites, which really tells us about our maker and how God made us and who He is. It's a little bit about His heart for us. And that's Psalm 139. And I'm just going to read that for you guys real quick. I drew all over my Bible, and I made it really cute. If you can kind of see it. But yeah, this is one of my favorites, and I read this a lot when I'm feeling uncertain about my own self. I need to be reminded of the God that is backing me up and helping me do whatever it is I'm trying to do. So, this is Psalm 139. O Lord, you have examined my heart. You know everything about me. You know when I sit down or stand up. You know my thoughts even when I'm far away. You see me when I travel, when I rest at home. You know everything I do. You know what I'm going to say even before I say it, Lord. You go before me and follow me. You place your hand of blessing on my head. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too great for me to understand. I can never escape your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. If I go up to heaven, you are there. If I go down to the grave, you are there. If I ride the wings of the morning, if I dwell by the farthest oceans, even there your grace will guide me. Even there your strength will support me. I could ask the darkness to hide me and the light around me to become night, but even in darkness I cannot hide from you. To you, the night shines as bright as day. Darkness and light are the same to you. You made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous, how well I know it. You watched me as I was being formed in utter seclusion, as I was woven together in the dark of the womb. You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single day had passed. How precious your thoughts are about me, O God. They cannot be numbered. So that is 17 verses telling you all about how much God loves you and who he is and who he created you to be. But we're going to break that down a little bit. There are 6 things that I found from this passage that really speaks to who God is and how much he really loves us. Number 1, he knows you really, really well. He knows everything about you. It says, you have examined my heart and know everything about me. He knows when you're sitting, standing, whatever it is you're doing. He knows everything. And we're going to skip ahead. This is originally going to be my 4th point, but we're going to make it number 2. Because he knows everything about you. And number 4, number 2 now, you can't run away from him. I can never escape your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. That sounds super clingy and annoying, but have you guys ever walked into a room and felt completely alone? Have you ever been in a group of people that are supposedly your friends and you still feel alone and you don't feel like you fit in? Even in those moments when you feel super lonely, God's still there with you. You can't run away from him. So on the same note, even if you're doing something that he's probably not super proud of, he's still with you. And that might make you second guess a few things. It might change your behavior a little bit. But number 3, despite always being with you and knowing everything about you, the good, the bad, the ugly, the amazing, proud moments, he loves you anyway. He loves you so much, more than anyone ever will. It says, how precious your thoughts are about me, oh God. They cannot be numbered. He thinks about you and he loves you and cares about you. Despite all the times you've disappointed him and despite the mistakes you've made, he still loves you a ton. And I think just knowing that someone cares that much about you helps you trust them a bit more. So I know because of his love for me, I can trust him and I can put my faith in him. And I know he created me for a good reason. So number 4, he wants good things for you. It's easy to think about God as this, I read a book one time calling him the cosmic cop. He's some guy up in the sky telling you what you can and cannot do, and he's this rule maker trying to make your life miserable. But that's not who our God is. He's not trying to do that. He wants really good things for you. It says, Um, you go before me and follow me. You place your hand of blessing on my head. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too great for me to understand. So God has his hand of blessing on you. He wants these good things for your life. And these things that he wants for you is more wonderful than you can ever understand. He's got plans that you will never know until you get there. It could be when you're 22 or 42. It doesn't matter. He has these plans that are so wonderful that you just don't know about yet. And number 5, these are out of order, so now I have to think about it. Number 5 is that he's protecting you, guiding you, and supporting you. So those complicated, sticky situations, those times that feel hopeless, he's still there and walking through it with you and helping you and encouraging you along the way. It says, even there your hand will guide me and your strength will support me. It doesn't matter what you're doing or what you're going through. Nothing's too hard, too messy, too difficult, too complicated for God. He is there helping you all along the way. And number 6, he's incredibly intentional about the way he made you. It says, thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous, how well I know it. For 1, he was intentional, and 2, he did good work. So when he made you, he knew what he was doing, and he was doing good things. You watched me as I was being formed in utter seclusion, as I was woven together in the dark of the room. He made you so perfectly, so intentionally. If you just think about it, like, imagine a baby in the stomach being made, like, growing, and just imagine God being there as your hair, well, I guess your hair doesn't start forming, but as you start getting fingers and toes and a nose and your eyes. I don't really know a whole lot about when your eyes open, or I don't think they open in the womb. I don't know. But just this whole process, all along the way, God is there, and he's picking out your hair color and your eye color and your skin tone and all the features, and he's just putting you together. And I think that's so amazing. The talents that you have, he has picked out for you. The passions you have, he's picked out and blessed you with so that you can go out and use them for his glory and to inspire other people and help people. And I think that's just so, so cool, because I can look on this passage and know that there is a God who loves me so much, who cares about me and is doing so much for me. And I'm reminded of his goodness. And I can see his heart on these pages. I can see his love for me. And it just makes me feel so much better, because I know, like, he's there and with me all the time. And knowing him a little bit better, each time I read that passage, my trust in him grows a little bit more, because I'm reminded of that. I'm reminded of his love and his goodness and his faithfulness. And I can be a little bit more confident in that. And the more I know him, the better I understand myself, because I know he created me. And it also changes the way I look at other people. I can understand them a little bit better too, because I'll look at them with God's eyes. I can see the annoying kid in my chemistry class as someone God also created and loves just as much as he loves me. And that changes your perspective a ton. And I think it's important to be able to look at people and yourself the way that God created you. So really just spend this week, I guess, writing down, like on that sheet I gave you guys, if you were at Bible study on Thursday, think about the talents he's given you. Think about the things you're passionate about. Think about the things you like about yourself. Don't spend time thinking about the things you can't do or aren't capable of, or the things you don't have. Don't think about those things. That's a waste of time. Think about the things that God has given you. Think about how you can use those. Think of those things that you're good at, And then look at your passions and see how those line up, and think about the God who has plans for you, and start thinking about the way that He will use you in the ways that you don't even know yet, but you know they're marvelous, and you know they're wonderful, and you know they're going to be so good. There are things that, like right now that I'm doing, when I look back growing up, I was always making videos. I made a ton of music videos when I was younger, you guys. Like, I would lip sync to all these different songs when I was like in 6th and 7th grade. So same age as you guys pretty much. And all those times making videos because I was passionate about it and I loved it and I thought it was so fun. Look at what I'm doing now. I'm making videos a much different way. But it's still the things that I loved, and honestly I was kind of good at them. I was good at clipping things together and editing them, and God used those moments when I was 11 and 12 years old to prepare me for now when I'm almost 21. And that's kind of a cool thing to think, like 10 years in the making is where I'm at now. And who knows what it's going to be 10 more years from now. And you guys have that same thing to look forward to. So just think about all these different things and be praying about it and thank God every day for who He made you, because He made you in a really awesome way. And He has big plans for you. And I'm so excited to uncover these with you guys. And if you guys have ideas that you want to, I don't know, write a book or publish a book or host an event or do anything, I want to help you guys do that. So go ahead and comment any questions that you have, any ideas, any other topics you want to cover. You can comment those below, and be sure to check out Club 412's website. I'll post that down below as well, so then you can be plugged into the community and get email reminders and all that good stuff, and check out our workouts and eventually our recipes, which I will probably not be making because I'm very bad at cooking, but that's okay. God created me to do other things. Have a good day, you guys.